Hello and welcome to 5-Element Breathwork. I'm really excited that you're joining me to learn some very simple breath techniques, but also embodying the wisdom that lies in the 5 Ayurvedic elements. I work with the Ayurvedic elements because Ayurveda is the sister science to yoga, and yoga is the tradition that I have learnt breathwork from. But what I've found in all of my years of study and practice is that having a really firm understanding of the elements really empowers us to tune in with a level of interoception in our own body that really allows us to connect very, very deeply. And it allows us to be truly in tune and connected with our body and with nature and the environment. We are all one. We are all made of the same things. And that is what the truth is from the Ayurvedic perspective, which is actually quite scientific, it is the science of life. All things that exist in this earth, it consists of these 5 elements of earth, water, fire, air, and ether. So I'm really excited to align an awareness of the elements with breath work so that you can feel it in your own body. So we're working today with the element of air. Now, it's really good beginning from this mini course. I want you to approach this from a learning and embodiment perspective. So we're working from the ground up, and it's to practice technique. That is the focus. Once you have gone through each of the 5 lessons, you can then get the audio download, which takes you through the breath work, but working in the opposite direction. Now, I'll explain that to you, why I do it like that. So when we work from the ground up, we're working with the liberating current. So that's the upward, and it's very much connected to the element of earth, because the liberating current is born of the earth. If you think, so it is the upward current. So if you think everything grows upwards towards the sun, it's what happens in nature. A seedling comes up out of the ground, and it's driving upwards. Us humans, we grow taller and taller throughout our lives, and in liberation, the path of freedom lies in removing the rigidity and the sometimes we can become quite stuck in sort of tension and structure and form. So it's a little tricky because we need to have a balance of both. But liberation, when we move on from our constraints, we're liberating from them. So again, we're freeing ourselves of them. Sometimes for people, it's the opposite. They're very, very flighty, scattered, maybe overwhelmed, anxious. It's actually the exact opposite that they need. They need that grounding and manifestation. So that's a good little segue into when you do the audio download, which is the daily practice. We're working in the opposite direction. I'll take you down. We'll start with an ether practice, an air practice, a fire, water, then complete with earth. And we're working with the manifesting current. So when we work with I want you to think of a big funnel, and we're coming down. Okay. And what we're doing is, if you think of ideas, unlimited possibility, consciousness, the unified field. So that's all the stuff up there in the ether. And we slowly bring it down into a structure and form, which is the earth element. And we manifest that possibility, and we bring it into the earth, into this realm. Okay. So that can be very transformational for you to practice daily, to invite a transformation or a change that you're working towards with intention. So first of all, this series, we're working with cultivating the understanding of each practice, of each element, and how we're working with our breath. They are fairly simple breath practices, but it may take you a little bit of practice to feel comfortable with some of the ones that if you haven't done them before. And I'm always more than happy to answer questions. So please, in the Facebook group, just hashtag me or do the little @ sign, tag me and ask me a question if there's anything. So let's begin the element of earth. So the element of earth is correlated with the base energy center, and it is very much to do with our survival in this physical realm. We're working with breath that is all through the nose. So nasal breath. So a lot of the pranayama techniques that you've done in a yoga class are very, very closely tied to the element of earth. Pranayama itself is about controlling the pranas. So if you think about that, that's quite a structured activity. So it's the same thing. We're inviting solidity. We're inviting a very grounding and steady. We're inviting stillness. The other thing is also that if you think of the qualities of earth, of the element of earth, earth is very stabilizing. You can ground into the earth by just closing. And if you do this now, just make sure you're in a nice, comfortable seated position. And just feel the parts of your body that are connecting with the earth. So it might be the sides of your legs, your feet. You could do this practice sitting in a chair. I'm sitting, on a cushion. And I just notice how your pelvis sits. We want the spine nice and upright. Even let the hands rest so that the shoulders can settle. And really just take a moment here and tune into gravity, which I like to think of this as the earth's like hug. It's holding us. Receive that. Allow yourself to just tune into that downward pull towards the earth. And that has a very stabilizing effect for our nervous system. When we're feeling flighty, when we're feeling anxious, when we're feeling a bit ruffled, this is the best practice to do, just sitting in stillness and even just focusing on, that gravitational hug. So when we're going to do a practice called square breath, a very, very simple breath, and we're going to actually work into using like a structural breath practice, what we call structural breath. But we'll first work with just awareness into the belly. So let's just start by having our hands and just placing on the belly. So notice my navel is here. So just notice where your navel is. If you place one hand above it, this is the diaphragm. Between the breast or sort of up near the sternum, chest breathing. We've got the collarbones. Sometimes the breath can be quite high, but bringing the hands back down and even just a little bit below the navel or to the sides. And I want you to just close your eyes here and just take a little exhale breath, gently drawing the tummy back towards the spine. And then inhale and expand into the belly. And then exhale, nice and gentle. Inhale and exhale. So we're really tuning into the breath at the belly, in and out through the nose. And imagine that you're saying the word who. What happens when we do that, breathing in and out through the nose, We contract the back of our throat and we get this lovely, soft, hushing sound of our breath. Now, breath work is best done on an empty stomach or at least 2 hours after you've eaten. So I would always suggest starting your day with a breathwork practice before you have your breakfast. So I want you to maybe just place one hand now above the belly onto the diaphragm and just keep doing this belly breath practice. You might even like to call it the ujjayi breath that we call it in yoga. And I love to really feel into this lovely stretch. When I expand into my belly at its fullest, I feel a nice stretch in my diaphragm. You might not feel that. Everybody's body is different, but just tune into the sensations that you're aware of. Breathing in and out through the nose. And the other thing you can observe is when you exhale and draw the navel back towards the spine, see if you can feel your pelvic floor. You might even be able to feel that it just gently lifts up. It might be even quite natural as you draw that tummy back to the spine. So it's a breathe in, expand, and exhale, contract. Breathe in, expand, exhale, contract. And if you can, do a little pelvic floor lift, that's great. When you think of pelvic floor, we want even contraction and even release. When I say even, I mean like control. Don't just let it flop. Be aware. If it does flop, just bring awareness to that. Maybe you find it hard to contract. Placing your mind on that is the first step. Where the mind goes, the energy follows. And you can visualize here, and you could visualize it this way for your belly. So open, open, close, in, out, and the same with your pelvic floor. Open, and the pelvic floor lowers, and then close. Exhale, breath, and it's a little bit of a lift, contraction back. All right? So now we're going to move on to a little bit more of a structural breath, and we're going to count it and make it into a square breath. So square breath is counting to the number 4. So it's 4 counts breathing in, expanding, then 4 counts to hold, and then 4 counts to release the breath steadily, hearing that soft sound, and then 4 counts after the exhale, just with a hold there, on the contraction, on the emptiness. And then so that's 1 full breath cycle. But let's first just become aware of our structural breath practice. So we've just done our belly breath or ujjayi breath. And the difference between belly breath and ujjayi, just the subtle difference, is that you can do belly breath without this sort of soft hushing sound. But the minute that you engage that internal sort of lovely ocean sound of your breath, you're turning it into a ujjayi breath. It's just got more control. So very, very grounding, very steady, very earthy breath practice. So coming into structural breath, we're just involving the rib cage a little bit more. So one hand on the chest, one hand on the belly. Let's take a breath into the belly. And then as you reach the top of your inhale, just be aware of the chest lifting. And then exhale and release through the nose. And again, breathe in belly, chest lifts, exhale, release, and belly back to the spine. Inhale, belly, chest, exhale, soften, release, and contract back to the spine. Okay, so that's our structural breath. Now you can keep the hands here if you like, and I'm going to count you through the practice. Okay, so let's all start with a little exhale breath. Belly comes back to the spine, and then breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4. Another cycle, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4, and exhale. Soften the chest, contract the belly, 4, and hold. Holding that contraction, you might be able to connect with your pelvic floor here as well. And again, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, filling that breath up nice and high, filling the lungs here as we hold, 3, 4, and exhale, soften and contract, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4. Let's do a couple more. Breathing in, hold, nice soft shoulders, and exhale. Slowly bringing navel back to the spine and hold for 4. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and hold. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold. Again, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and hold. Soften the shoulders, soften the space between the eyebrows. Nice full breath. And exhale, 2, 3, 4. Tummy comes back to the spine. We're holding, 2, 3, 4. And again, breathing in. And hold. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4. We'll do one more all together. Breathing in and hold. Soften the shoulders and exhale. And hold. And then just release the hands. Just bring them either side, rest them on your thighs. Let the breath come back to a natural rhythm. Just intuitively feeling what feels most comfortable for you, whether it's breathing in and out through the mouth or the nose or a combination of both. And just take a moment, closing down the eyes if you haven't already, just to observe. Observe sensations in the body. Tuning into the element of earth, really grounding down. Visualizing or feeling into the heaviness of your bones, of your muscles hugging the bones, supporting your bones. Visualizing your skin, which makes this container of your physical body full of energy and matter. See, the element of earth is all about awareness. Awareness of our body, awareness of our body in nature, in the space that we're in, and connecting to that. And then when you're ready, let's bring our hands to the heart, just to complete this short practice. Just feeling a sense of gratitude as we open our hearts to the wisdom of the earth element, our capacity to connect with it at any time as a tool for inviting stillness, steadiness, for calming the nervous system, for nourishing. And then bring your hands up to your forehead. May we have clarity in our perception. Hands out the throat. May we have truth in our expressions. And hands at the heart. May we feel joy. Namaste.